Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome back to Donkey Kong Country 2, the Lost Levels, where last time we began World 5, and today we are very likely going to be finishing it off. So far in World 5, we have seen a number of interesting things. One of those, which is just, a tire randomly in the middle of nowhere, but even more interesting than that was the completely revamped Haunted Hall, which is now a Squawks level, and what are you even doing there? That is totally weird, and I feel like there was a zinger here or something which helped us get by with Rambi last time. And we also saw a level which is totally trying to be a ripoff of Toxic Tower. But one of the things that we saw was, I think there's supposed to be a no Rambi sign here actually, which the whole point of this was I was trying to come back and see what that no Rambi sign did, was because people were questioning that if maybe it would have led to some hint to the fact that there is actually a bonus game hidden in the hole we are standing in front of, but we somehow seem to have managed to glitch the game where even the ending target does not appear. I was actually kind of looking forward to seeing what would happen if we hit that target with Rambi. And I guess also the bonus barrel despawned too. There's the treasure chest. So that did not go at all according to plan. I will see you in a second when we actually find out what happens when Rambi passes the no Rambi sign. Alright, now this is looking more like it. We somehow managed to destroy the universe last time, but thankfully everything is pretty alright this time. So finally, it is time to answer that question, I think. What happens when you pass the sign with Rambi? And the answer to that question is a bunch of bananas flies over to this ledge here, which still does not really in any way hint that there is a bonus barrel hidden down there. So I'm not sure. It is very, very cryptic just how you're supposed to find this, and it definitely reminds me of some secrets in the original Donkey Kong Country, I guess 2, but also even 1 had a lot of times like that too, where it was really, really cryptic. Just do something completely random and the answer will become clear. Still no exclamation mark on that one, but I'm pretty sure there was only one bonus game. But all of that crazy stuff out of the way, just in case, things were not creepy enough for you yet. Kreepy Cave is here to amp the creepiness level up to 10,001. And I think I threw that barrel and broke open the squitter box. I don't think that he's normally just, sitting there like that. But yeah, it was always kind of weird that the Beehive level didn't really fit the creepy theme that the rest of the world was going for. So that hack creator said, you know what, I can change, custom palettes and add all sorts of funky stuff to any level that I want. So they definitely made the Beehive level of this world feel a lot more like it fit in with the creepy theme that the world was definitely going for. Also, we have a cannon here, so we're going to need to keep our eyes out for that so that we can reach a bonus game at some point. This is, of course, normally a very vertical level where you use purple squawks to kind of, slowly float downwards. Oh, okay, so we get rid of that. That's a very nice life in case, we die in this level. We can always get a life back near the beginning here. But now it's a very horizontal level where Squitter was obviously introduced. Oh, right, I almost completely forgot that we were, worried about this, although we somehow need to get this back over there. I don't think I can make this jump. Maybe we need to do some kind of shenanigans with Squitter. Okay. Yeah, so there's definitely something we need to do there that we did not do correctly. Overall, though, I must say that, this is just another one of those changes that looks very nice, and I think it's kind of weird that, I guess it would have been more work on the developer's part to have to introduce, a different palette for every single level. They did it with, Rattle Battle, though, where it doesn't have the same color palette as the other 2 ship levels. Now that I think about it, even the second ship level has more of a sunset palette than the first one. So, Gangplank Galleon, they all kind of did something different with their level palettes, but then you have the Brambles levels. But no, the third Brambles level in the final world, not including the Lost World, also has a different palette than the other ones. Okay, I guess I need to give the Donkey Kong Country games more credit than I was giving them. For some reason, I didn't really think too much about levels having different palettes, even though they have the same theme. But Donkey Kong Country 1's underwater levels did that, so I'm just eating my words up here. So I think what we want to do is something like this, where we create a web, Oh, but I've probably destroyed everything that I could break this chest with, now that I think about it. So we go through there, we don't worry about that. Wow, okay, so you can actually stand on that with a Kong. I can't really think of a situation where I ever did that in the original game. Normally, you know, you're standing on top of webs with Squitter, but yes, I should have left an enemy alive here to destroy this box with. Instead, I was just rambling all day long. But you know what? Instead of wasting another life for absolutely no reason, we can totally come back and do that later, assuming that we do not die at some point between now and the midway point anyway. But there you go, we got Squitter, and we already lost him by the time we got the K, so he is just a very short kind of interlude here. I was wondering how we get across that. I was about to switch to Dixie and do some floating around, but thankfully we have the appearance of the ghost ropes, which definitely were not a super overly used asset in the original game, so it's nice to see them get some acknowledgement here. And again, of course, these barrel guys, the hack creator really loved them. They have just been stealing my lives and bananas all hack long. And of course, every time you turn the game off, you gotta get them all back. So it's definitely, you know, not appreciated in the slightest. Also, we have those guys going on. Seeing all of them in formation like that, you know, really makes you kind of want to bounce on them in sequence. It makes me think that... Oh, actually, before we get on to that conversation, did you see that? This is one I remember looking for quite a little while, though this one, not so much of a blind jump into the hole, though there is actually some glitching going on inside the wall here. That one, there is thankfully a little bit of an indication that you're supposed to jump down there and find that bonus game. But yeah, just like in the Super Mario Brothers series, not such a fan of this one, although they actually put some honey on the wall there. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Hackman. Otherwise, I would have totally been destroyed. You can jump on sequential enemies in order to get 1-ups, which is not something that's very noticeable, because unlike in Super Mario, where you rack up points, and those points you know, increase for each sequential enemy that you jump on, eventually leading to a 1-up. Well, that was very rude. I think we can still use the Kong's procedure, but I think we actually want to go up here and get the DK coin. Thankfully, even with just the Kongs, we can still do that, but can we actually still beat the level without Radley, or will we eventually hit a point where that is just no good? But, man, back to the point I'm totally trying to make here, is that you will eventually get a 1-up, even in the Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 games, or even in the Returns ones as well, if you jump on enough enemies in a row. But I can't think of a single place where that is ever really practical to pull off in any of the games. If you watched my Donkey Kong Country 1 Let's Play, I did show a trick that you can use to get as many 1-ups as you want by abusing that that sort of trick. But of course, it's not, you know, a natural way that the game intended for you to do it. I am very surprised that that actually worked. But yeah, if anyone knows a spot in any of the Donkey Kong Country games where you can actually get a 1-up properly by jumping on enemies in a row, I would be super interested in seeing it. Because again, it's not something I've ever actually done, aside from the trick that I made a video about in my Donkey Kong Country 1 Let's Play, and I will definitely link to that video should you be interested in seeing it. But it's funny because in the Mario Brothers games, it's actually not that uncommon to get a 1-up by jumping on enemies, you know, in a row like that. I think that's probably the DK barrel. Can I get it though? There's kind of some blind jumps going on here. Oh, I almost kind of messed that one up. Thankfully, it worked out okay. But yeah, Mario Brothers, it's very common to have like 99 lives within the first few worlds of playing it, if you're, you know, not quite a seasoned Super Mario Brothers player. But Donkey Kong, most of your lives come from banana bunches, because banana bunches are just like an instant 10 bananas. So I mean 10 of those and you already have a 1-up. But there's also usually lots of balloons hanging around as well. It's funny that in the later Donkey Kong Country games, bunches were actually cut down to just 5 bananas like in Donkey Kong 64, but they're totally overpowered in the original Donkey Kong Country games, in before the banana bunch nerf, honestly. Nintendo goes back and updates all the classic Donkey Kong games, Donkey Kong Country original banana bunches, to make them totally more fair in, you know, comparison to the modern days where everything is just totally cheaper and more sparse. But no, I can't think of having really any trouble getting up to 99 lives in any of the newer Donkey Kong Country games either. It's usually not something that's difficult, and I'm totally waiting for you to disappear, because I know that the second I jump on you, you're totally going to pull a fast one on me. So we did indeed make it to the checkpoint before getting that first bonus game in this level, so we're definitely going to have to go and fix that up after we beat the level. We did find one of the bonus games, though, and then that leaves the question of if there's a third one in this level. Can't actually remember that. So we'll have to find that out soon. Otherwise, though, this is just definitely a very funky level where you have kind of the weird effect going on in front of the screen, and it's just such a different tone from any of the other Beehive levels, which usually have you working vertically in some fashion. Of course, the Beehive level that is replaced here was more of a downwards vertical level, but even the other ones in the fourth world normally have you climbing upwards in some sort of way, where this one is very just, you know, go from the left to the right. Now, I definitely do not trust this door, but what about up here? Is there anything that we can get? Okay, it would appear that there is. We just kind of walked into the abyss. We didn't beat the level. Dixie's just like, forget the end of the level. I'm walking into, you know, the absolute abyss. And that brings us back to the blue zone, the blueberry jelly zone. I've really enjoyed reading commenters' kind of thoughts of what the blue and red honey was in each of the levels. Ooh, okay, so this is probably somewhere above the ending, so we do not want to shoot straight down as it was hoping we would. I like the suggestion that the blue stuff is like blueberry jelly, and the red one would be like strawberry jam. You know, people have the best imaginations, and I definitely think that it was fun that the hack creator changed, you know, the colors of the Beehive levels. Because again, back when I was thinking about, you know, Rare not really creating any color palette variations in their levels, I guess I was mainly thinking about the Beehive levels, for instance, but because they're all yellow. When in the case of this game, there's no yellow Beehive at all. They're all something different. So that brings us to Forgotten Forest, but we actually do need to return to Kreepy Cave and finish off that unfinished business. Now, it really just throws the DK barrel at you here. So here's Squitter. So the problem I was constantly making was that, I mean, the first time I got rid of Squitter without making a web where I needed to. And then the second time I destroyed all of the enemies in the vicinity of the cannon, which was a bad idea. So I think right around here we want to leave that guy alive so that he will help us, you know, break open the treasure chest when we get it. Also, something that I need to mention, which was mentioned in the comments, is that if you jump with Squitter and while you're in the air, you press the R button. Actually, wait, how does this work? How does this work? I've actually kind of forgotten how this works. Oh, okay, I got it. So, yeah, this is something that was mentioned in the comments, and I definitely wanted to mention it because it's something I had no idea was actually a thing. You can also shoot the web that turns into a platform with the L button and the R button. So if you are in mid-jump, so you're on your way upwards, and you press L and R at the same time, it will actually create a web underneath you. Or I suppose it also works with, you know, any button that shoots the web. So if you press like A and R at the same time, you can really create like a web that's a platform directly beneath you, rather than what I've been trying to do in some videos, where you have to like shoot it upwards, and then do that kind of thing, and then shoot it over there, and do that kind of thing. You can just do a thing like that, and it's actually really useful. I had no idea that the L and R buttons did that, so I just needed a couple seconds to, you know, get that back together, because it's not something I've ever done before, and not something I really even knew that you could do. So thank you to the one who suggested that, because it's actually a very neat trick. And again, L and R, who thinks of pressing L and R when you are playing Donkey Kong Country? It's, as I mentioned in one of the videos, it's not like you can use them in this game to move the camera or anything like that, so I kind of just forget that they even exist when I am playing some good old DKC. So now we gotta grab this, make a jump over this, make a big jump over that, and we should hopefully have left this guy alive, so we can get our cannonball, and here we go. Although because of all the shenanigans we had to pull to make it here, it would appear that if we lose this bonus game, we're totally gonna have to, to pull all those shenanigans off again to get back to it. But I don't think we should have any more trouble, or any trouble rather, getting all of these stars within the allotted time. Nothing too difficult there, and that, I believe, is 3 bonus games and the DK coins, so there should be, no chance of having missed anything in that level. Kreepy Cave now complete, and Freezy Frenzy even now has the exclamation mark, which means we are doing pretty well for ourselves in World 5 here. And now actually the final level of World 5, because for some reason, unlike World 4, which had 6 levels, World 5 only has 5 levels. We have Forgotten Forest. Now, this is usually web woods in the original game, and it requires pulling off a whole ton of squitter shenanigans, but now we actually have a level with the Lost World color palette going on. And oh ho ho, we actually got hit by one of the red scuttlebug guys. I was wondering when we would finally run into that, because it's just, you know, it's pretty tricky sometimes avoiding those enemies that just move so quickly. And this is also actually a different color of this guy. I think it's probably some kind of edited version of the enemy, or some kind of glitched version where they will not usually throw you upwards. They sometimes just kind of make you do all sorts of funky things. Even sometimes they throw you through the ground, so you really need to be careful of them. But yeah, this is normally, as I said, you know, web woods, but now it's a level with the Lost Worlds kind of graphics going on, but also it has the Haunted Forest level music going on. So we need to be very careful at you, because again, these guys are much more dangerous than their blue counterparts. Also seemed like he spun for quite a while there. Well, all of the upgraded enemies are suddenly just being thrown in our face, and I have to say, I really like that purple color in the background. That is quite beautiful in my opinion. But before, there have been... I was trying to get back up there and bounce on you. That totally did not go well. But before, there have been color palette changes in this game that I thought were quite nice. That unfortunately... Or not unfortunately, rather. I mean, everyone's welcome to their own opinion. But people have not necessarily agreed with me in the comments. But that is okay, because everyone is totally welcome to feeling their own way about whatever they feel like. But what this level is just really, again, showing is, you know, the power of being able to hack Donkey Kong Country 2 and do whatever you want with it. And in a variety of parts so far, I have kind of questioned just what goes into making a Donkey Kong Country 2 ROM hack compared to something like, you know, Super Mario World, which is very easy for even a beginner to jump into, and not necessarily go all out with it with a, you know, ASM and everything. There is a lot that you can do with Super Mario World, but if your aim is just to make a level, it is not something that's so difficult to do in good old Smoo. But when it comes to Donkey Kong Country 2, our good friend M. Rose in the comments of Part 10 had an epic comment that really went into detail, you know, just what needs to be exported and inserted and what programs need to be used and all the crazy, funky steps that went into making this ROM hack. So if you would be interested in hearing more about that, again, definitely go and read that comment that was left by M. Rose in Part 10. But it is just, again, it's nothing near as... And there you go, he threw me downwards! And that was just, you know, exactly what that was meant to be a demonstration of. I am being beaten up by Forgotten Forest. It's just, there's a lot going on, and unlike in the previous levels where it's been kind of easy to hold a conversation and also, you know, beat the levels, because they've been pretty basic. You know, a lot of things that if you've played all the Donkey Kong Country games, you're pretty used to dealing with. This level definitely throws a lot of new enemies and, you know, holes and all sorts of crazy things in your face, and actually requires you to use more than 5% of your brain, which I guess would be, you know, up to 45% more of what they say you usually use of your brain. Is they say you only use half your brain or something like that? Or is that like that old saying where you're not supposed to go swimming within 30 minutes after you eat, which totally was proven to be, you know, a bunch of hooey with modern science. Because that's what modern science was, you know, created to prove, that we can go swimming without having to wait due to stomach cramps. I think I had a point in all this, though. The point is that making Donkey Kong Country 2 ROM hacks is difficult, and that guy is not looking so well. But we somehow made it to the midway point. That is what is important here. Oh man. Being able to play video games without concentrating is totally a thing. And we have a bonus barrel up there too, which again was not the correct color. You know, maybe if every time I've asked to have things explained, I've just had commenters who are so kind towards explaining things. Maybe someone could explain why sometimes the palettes of enemies are weird. Because I definitely do not understand why it seems like sometimes the palettes do not load correctly. And it seems like when that happens, it is usually to some kind of orange, yellowish, reddish incorrect color. I wonder why that is. Maybe because of the fact that, you know, there's red enemies around, which were never actually in the original game. That has something to do with it? I have no idea, but my plan here was to find a DK barrel so that I could just throw Dixie up there, because it seems like trying to get up there otherwise was not working so well for me. And you guys who like throw me through the floor are not my friends. You are totally not invited to my birthday party. Hey, you didn't even take a break there. Okay, I'll take it. I'll totally take it. Yeah, so that's a really bizarre enemy. I kind of like the concept of where if it traps you, it's instant death. I think that having an instant death enemy here or there isn't totally unfair. I mean, I guess the way that they don't take a break or even really give you any chance to hit them is kind of a little bit unfair. And okay, I have no idea what to even make of this thing. That I'm not so, approving of. Where on earth is the bonus game? I think we need to try that one more time. Ugh. Okay, well, we still made it into the bonus game somehow. So the trick is to jump over that dude. Can we go upwards, please? No, we didn't. Well, all of my plans have been totally shredded. On to plan B, which is basically do the same thing again, but be successful this time. That's a pretty good plan in my book. But then, I guess, it was said that madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. But this is Donkey Kong Country 2, and no one's going to tell me that I can't totally be successful. Like, see? We've fallen into that guy multiple times and we've gotten different results, so I have no idea what Einstein was talking about. You would think that guy's supposed to be smart or something like that, but sheesh. Telling us all the wrong details. Also, the checkpoint barrel for some reason comes back. Ugh. Okay, well, guess we just gotta leave that one for now. We've lost all of our chances. And I mean, again, you can't argue that the result was somewhat different. That time we didn't even make it into the bonus barrel. I feel totally shamed of everything, and this is not going to end well, is it? Okay, I will take that and not complain in the slightest. Although, again, I feel like we want to get up here. This level, this has a lot going on, and I'm really happy, too, because I think it definitely, again, has a feeling unlike any other level in the original Donkey Kong Country, which is kind of what you want when you're playing a ROM hack. It's not like the, Super Mario World ROM hacks, where I should have used that guy to break this. This is probably the cannonball again, isn't it? Everything is just not turning up Andrew on these days. But yeah, I mean, if everything felt the same, it'd be like when people create Mario World ROM hacks and they don't even edit or delete everything in 1-5 before creating their own level. Oh, can we still do a thing here where we bounce on you and get up there? No, we can't. Looks like we're going to have to replay this level in its entirety, or not, considering I just got killed totally by a guy who was off screen. I have to say that I think there's a certain charm in Super Mario World ROM hacks that are not overly well made, and if you would like to see ROM hacks of that variety, I have made some videos, or actually, I mean, I'm not in all of them. He's also made some on his own, and those are just as excellent. With my good friend Miles Luigi, we've made videos, or again, he's made videos, called Ancient Super Mario World ROM Hacks, where he just plays the beginning portions of some really old Mario World ROM hacks in a folder that I actually just randomly found one day. And it is just funny to see what people were making back in like 2001 and 2002 with Lunar Magic, before there was really like all the over-the-top hacking stuff that there is today, like Sprite Tool, or even like an overabundance of extra graphics. Hacking has just evolved so much over the years. And okay, what is the plan here? Can we kill you? No, we can't. I don't remember ever having so much trouble with this though. So I'm just totally, it's just one of those days where things that can go wrong will go wrong. And to be honest, if you didn't have a day like that every once in a while, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be human. But there you go. And it's perfectly okay to stand on the spikes after you have obtained the coin. They are just so happy that they cannot even feel the nerves in their feet burning. Keep that in mind next time, there's pain on the floor. So we have lots of coins now because we have played that portion a lot of times. But let's be smart about this upcoming part here. You go off the edge because nobody likes you. So let's float over here with Dixie. We do not want to stand on that guy, but that's okay because we can jump back up here and do a thing like that. Jump over you. I think I'm going to be Diddy here. We'll take this chest. We'll jump over here. Do that. Do that. And that is Andrew's description of how to get into this bonus barrel. Do that, and then do that. But, as long as everyone understands, then we are totally okay. That last bonus game was very short, and yet it was actually throwing me for a bit of a loop. This one was also very short, and, definitely not anywhere as difficult. I mean, the last one wasn't even that difficult. I was just dealing with it very poorly. But you know what they say. Actually, I'm totally out of sayings. Someone else come up with something to say at this point. Also, you are a blue one. I have been so traumatized by the gray variety of you that, you know, I'm not used to seeing a normal one, although even he couldn't believe it, and he totally just jumped off that cliff. But we're back to the gray variety, so we gotta watch out for... No! Please, no! Please, no! I was shot into the stratosphere, but you know what? I guess as long as we made it out okay, visiting the stratosphere every once in a while is not the worst thing. But man... And then you get close to them, and then they jump up. But in that case, they didn't. Here we have a chest. I wonder what will be in it this time. Maybe another cannonball. We have not seen the DK coin yet. So we definitely, I don't know if we missed it, or maybe it will come up at some point. Or there it is. You know, if you talk about it, it shall appear. That will be my new saying, though. This is like the video of Andrew's catchphrases. Buy them all on VHS cassette for $9.95. Because CDs are totally, you know, out of style. I mean, vinyl records have come back. I wonder if someday cassette tape will come back, or if everyone was just so sick of their favorite cassettes, you know, getting ruined and coming loose and, you know, falling all over the place, that maybe no one ever wants to see a cassette again. We have found everything in this level, but, you know, if maybe we didn't die 200 times, we would have beaten it by now. But yeah, we're almost at the end probably. I think we got the G even, so we're very close, and I'll see you in a second when we get back there. Well, I guess without Dixie now, this part is impossible unless we can somehow manage to glitch ourselves up. Yes, we did! Oh, okay, well, I mean, it's definitely possible. There we go. I don't know why that guy just keeps destroying himself every time that he tries to shoot me upwards. And wow, you actually worked correctly. That guy has no idea what is going on, but then we got killed by the blue skitter bugs that time. Totally not according to plan. Alright, whatever. We've proven that we don't need you. I'd have to say, though, that this is definitely the first level that's kind of kicking my butt, though. I mean, it's good because I definitely, you know, enjoy dealing with difficult levels. Hopefully, doesn't make everyone else totally bored out of their mind. How come Diddy can do this and you can't, Dixie? I thought I almost had it. Ugh. It's so weird. Why would Diddy be better at this? I mean, you don't really notice much of a difference in the stats between Dixie and Diddy, aside from the fact that Dixie can float and Diddy can't. But I don't know, in this case it makes me wonder, like, you know, are there kind of rolling, spinning cartwheel things a little bit different from each other? You have to wonder, and else this is totally just, you know, wrecking my thumbs. They are getting very, you know, worked out with all these crazy shenanigans. I really don't want to jump into the hole, you know, start again. That would just be silly, but I feel like Dixie's almost giving me no choice here. I've noticed in this game, though, that there's like one DK barrel before the checkpoint and like one after. So if you lose a Kong, it's like have fun not having them for the next 12 hours. Because you're totally not getting them back. Okay, before my thumbs fall off. Guess we gotta get back to that point one more time. Haha, I didn't need you at all that time. I totally cheated over everything. Now that part is nasty. They just like rain down enemies on you, because you don't really expect that to happen. You'll think maybe they'll throw something that will go a bit farther. They won't just fall directly down on you, but that's it. I've had enough of this level. We're just totally flying over it with the cape and never dealing with it again. No, I think we're almost at the end, although all I need now is to be hit by one of those guys and be thrown through the floor right at the end. Yeah, there's nothing left to find. This is just like a random part for some reason. Alright, there it is. There's the finale. Normally in Web Woods in the original game, the DK coin is actually on the ending kind of post here. But this time, it's just a bunch of random stuff. But, you know, 1-up is never something really to complain about. That level was really cool, though. There was just lots of different enemies that were never in the original game, and they were all used in pretty creative ways. It really kind of it wasn't easy for me to get through it for whatever reason, but I have to say I definitely approve of that. That's the kind of thing I want to deal with when I play my ROM hacks, and when I think about what's coming up in World 6, get ready for a lot more of that. Whether, you know, if you enjoy seeing me fumble around a bunch, you know, you'll enjoy it. For me and my thumbs, perhaps not so much, although, you know, we'll see just how it goes. And here we have Kreepy Krow, of course, rehash of the first boss, kind of. Except a little bit different, because now you gotta jump on that one, and you gotta get this thing, and you gotta throw it in his face, just like that. And then, you know, you do that 2 or 3 more times, and happy times for all. Again, this isn't really a bonus game, or a bonus game. Yeah, this is the best bonus game ever. You do technically get a bonus coin when you beat it, so, you know, technically it's not too far off. But thank you very much. It hasn't really been changed in any way. I mean, they didn't even take out the DK barrel, which they seem to be so fond of in this hack, so... again, just like with the Zinger boss I mentioned last time, I'm surprised they didn't add in, you know, more enemies or something to kind of spruce it up a bit, just like the windy fight in Super Mario World, where everyone just adds all sorts of potobos and bullet bills to ensure that your face gets singed off. But, you know, that's not the case in Donkey Kong Country 2 boss hacking, it would appear. Let's not get hit by any of these. I think we only have like one more hit to go. All the difficulty from this boss really comes from the climbing parts. The parts where you just kind of gotta stand around here and do a thing are not too hard. Can you jump up here and find any sort of items? Can't really think if I've ever tried that. Okay, well, you can touch that guy, despite the fact that he's totally transparent. Did we break the boss fight, though? We appear to have done something that the game did not like. And we gotta watch out for that. And he's gonna do that thing. And he's gonna send more of his minions at us. His ghostly minions. Okay, but there we go. So now we get that. The barrel appeared in the floor, though. Is that a glitch that occurred because we scrolled the screen upwards and the game was not a fan of that, I wonder? I guess we'll try one more time, and if it doesn't work again, Dixie may once again have to destroy herself for the sake of progression. Sorry about that, Dixie. It's nothing personal. Seems that the game just kind of hates you for some reason. Okay, no, there's the barrel over there. I'm not sure if it appeared the first time and I just missed it, or what exactly was going on. And, just like that, he explodes to ensure that he will never again return and bother us, and that takes us up to 61 bonus coins, with, I believe, 100% completion in World 5. So, Gloomy Gulch was a world. I thought it was a pretty cool world. I mean, the first level was pretty standard compared to what you get in the original game, but Boogie Bird, Freaky Frenzy, Kreepy Cave, and Funky's Flights all get an awesome 12 thumbs up from me. So with that said, thank you very much for watching this part of Donkey Kong Country 2, The Lost Levels. I hope that you enjoyed. Up to 66%, so almost exactly 2/3 of the way there. Who knows, maybe if it showed percentages, we actually would be exactly, I mean, I guess you can never technically exactly be 2/3 of something. 66.66666% of the way there after 4 minutes and 14 seconds. I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time where we do the first 2 levels of World 6, where the difficulty is gonna ramp up even more than what we've seen so far. So thanks, and see you later.